our first speaker and keynote speaker, our chief guest for today, Mr. Karthik. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the conference where innovation meets opportunity in the virtual reality. We're absolutely delighted to have each and every one of you with us today from around the world. The virtual platform has brought us together, transcending borders and distances. Indeed, it's a testimony to the power of technology and spirits of collaboration. We have exciting day ahead, packed with insightful sessions, dynamic speakers, and opportunities for network. So, with shorter words, I'm just inviting our first speaker, Mr. SIVAKARTHEEK MATAM. Known as Karthik, brings 15 years of expertise in pharmacovigilance and device vigilance operations, currently serving as a group manager for global device vigilance operation at Alcon, Bangalore. Mr. SIVAKARTHEEK holds an M.Pharm pharmacy degree from Jesus College of Pharmacy, Mysore. Mr. SIVAKARTHEEK excels in project management, large-scale PVI, CSR projects, tasks, prioritizations, and consistently delivering results while collaborating effectively with stakeholders. His accomplishments include successful insourcing transitions and scaling up of device vigilance project at Alcon, as well as overseeing end-to-end ICSR handling setups for major European pharmaceutical companies, coupled with the adept cost budgeting and profit margin analysis. He's a key player in clinical research and pharmacovigilance, contributing to the field with the dedication to excellence. With these words, over to you, sir, and welcome from Chandigarh University, sir.
Thank you very much for having me here today. First of all, my sincere thanks to Dr. Vimal Arora and CliMed research team for inviting me and for having me here. I feel it's a great honor to present and share my experience with the budding pharmacists. In fact, there'll be the industrialists shown soon in the upcoming and booming industry of medical device vigilance. So without much ado, I'd like to share my slides and take the students through the, about the glimpses of medical device regulations. Apart from this, looking at the crowd, I thought I'll share more about my experience at the end of the session and what are the key things that are, we need to be looked into when we are coming out of the industry. What exactly kind of, positives that we need to carry in long term. Nowadays, people are calling it as a grit. So I want to just end with that, not only with the, regulatory stuff. I know it's kind of dry stuff in terms of to talk about regulatory regulations, EU MDR regulation, but these are kind of statutory requirements in all the European countries. So without much ado, I'd like to share my screen. Maybe I'll go off my video so that I can focus on the screens. Is that okay with all of you?
Yes, sir. No worries.
Yeah, fine. Let me know once you see my screen.
Yeah.
Just wanted to, okay. First slide, yeah, fine. Hello everyone, very good morning. Thank you very much for having me here. Before getting into any regulations, I thought we'll cover the basics of classifications of medical devices as per EU MDR, which is kind of hot topic in the industry now. At high level, medical devices are classified into class 1, class 2, and class 3. And again, in class 2, we have class 2A and class 2B. So wherein we call all class 1, the devices which are classified under class 1 are very much low risk, and we can have self-certification for that. Whereas moving on to class 2, where we have moderate risk and moderate to high risk, where we require health authority.
I think, but we are on the title slide only. We are not moving ahead.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Now it's perfect. Yeah.
I think I should not do it on slideshow then.
Yes, you should not go for the slideshow, sir, right now.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'll resume the discussion now. So as I was talking about medical device regulations, I mean, the topic is about to talk about medical device regulations. It's very important for all of us to know how these devices are classified as per the EU MDR, which is kind of hot topic in the industry now. Predominantly, these devices are classified into 3 types. One is called as class 1, class 2, class 3. It is very easy to remember as such. To get into the class 1, where we have the devices with low risk and self-certification. That means we can go ahead and self-certify this. There is no need of any regulatory authority to certify this as a device. Moving on to class 2, we have a couple of subcategories there. One is class 2A and class 2B. Class 2A is for moderate risk devices. Class 2B is for moderate to high risk, wherein we need notified body certifications. And naturally, class 3 is high risk devices, wherein we need regulatory authority certification requirements. So this is very much basic. I mean, if we go to any kind of Google, you'll get this information. But the actual crux of the story is how these are classified, on what basis. I mean, the 3 things that I have mentioned here, it all depends on the duration of use of the device and what is the intention of use of the device and the type of device. Based on this classification will fall in place. So coming to duration of use, again, these are all, depend on whether device is used less than 60 minutes or it's somewhere between 60 minutes to 30 days. That's called as short-term devices. And if we're using any device more than 30 days, they're called as long-term. And there are some devices which are continuous use. I mean, this means
I request all the participants to mute. 1 sec, I'll mute everyone. So, there'll be no disturbance. Wait for a second, sir. I'm so sorry.
No, sorry. It's all right.
Yeah, please unmute yourself, sir, and please go ahead. Now no one can disturb it. Please unmute yourself, Karthik, sir. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So we have continuous use, wherein the use of device can be just temporarily stopped.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I have unmuted.
Yes, it is audible now. Please tell me.
Yeah. So we are on continuous use. Just I want to mention a couple of points on continuous use. Any device that is used.
Medical device.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Please send me hi in my WhatsApp and your name. I'll share the link directly to you.
Okay. Regarding continuous.
No need.
Yeah. Karthik sir, you are audible. Just please continue.
Yeah. Regarding continuous use, the entire duration, wherein the device is implanted or used with temporary alteration can be made. For example, the device can be replaced for only few seconds or few minutes. That's called one of the definition that comes on continuous use, wherein the other device, similar kind of device replaced with for the intended use. And coming to the points to remember here, actually we have a few points that are kind of vocabulary for medical device classifications. Body orifice, wherein there is a incision or insertion of the device is required into the body. Active device, which is intended for diagnosis and monitoring. Again, active therapeutic device, reusable surgical instrument, the devices that are used for central circulatory system. So these are all very much, in the regulations where we need to remember this as a points, and we can refer to Annexure 8 of UEMDR 2017-745 document for this, which I have given reference in the next slide. And the type of device, non-invasive or invasive or active device or special rules. There are 22 rules which helps us, to classify a device. And it's more of theory. I'd say I'll just open the screen for next slide so that you'll understand what I'm speaking here. These are all some classifications, some examples that I have taken. I'm sure many of us would be wondering, where spectacles also called as a device. Why it is a device? Yes, without specs, I'll not be able to see if I have alternative in my vision. So where actually I am using specs to ensure that I'm seeing properly. So that spectacles come as a class 1 category. The reason is because it's a non-invasive and it's a long-term use. And X-ray radiation device, which falls under class 2A. This is because it's intended use for diagnostic, non-invasive and transient short-term one. So as I'm mentioning that, on the left-hand last column of the table, so EU MDR 2017-745 Annexure 8 will have all these details where the 20 rules are applied, where the points to remember things which we discussed in previous slides, all these things are applied, and this is how the devices are classified. And moving on to next classification of the device, for example, the device software application, because this is something which is a booming era now, wherein everything can be tracked by software. So the software application which detects hardware, if you remember, I know most of us familiar with the Apple smartwatches now, wherein single lead ECG, where that can take single lead ECG. That also considered as a device. Why it is considered a device is based on the regulations. It's an active device, one thing, and it's a long-term use one. That's why it falls under class 2B. And we all will agree that cardiac stent is also device for us because it helps to prevent to kind of treat the IHT conditions. So this is considered as class 3 device because of it falls under invasive category, where we have to insert the device and during the surgery. And it's for the long-term use. Once it is placed, we cannot take out until there is a complication after a certain period of time. And it falls under, it reaches the central circulatory system. So this is how the classifications are made, especially to talk about the device classifications. I recommend everyone, most of you, to go through this EU MDR 2017-745 guidelines. Annexure 8 talks about all these nitty-gritties. Moving on to the regulations, our crux of the story today, if you ask me, this is the topic that have been given. Again, I don't want to bore you with too many things. It's kind of, though slides looks clutter here, but this is something which is important for all of us to understand. Before going ahead with this slide, I want to give you the kind of history. So in pharmacovigilance, we all know about the thalidomide story. Similarly, we have similar kind of event, which is a recent one, which happened with a product called BioCell. That's an Alcon product. It's a breast implant, wherein the product is leading to anaphylactic lipomas. So which is kind of complication, because breast implants are predominantly used after breast cancer therapy. That's the reason BioCell is able to capture the market and other stuff. Because of less scrutiny in the market and less reporting structure in the European market, that's the reason we found this as a kind of risk that we have encountered with the product, wherein Alcon company has to recall all the products. In fact, it has been banned in European and US markets now. So that has led to the trigger in kind of looking to the regulations, how we are kind of monitoring, how we are understanding the device behavior in the market, how it is helping the patients. All these things has come up in line. So if you ask me, all the medical device industrialists, in fact, the entire industry is behind the UMDR regulations, understanding what is, how it is going to impact the industry, what are the efforts that we need to kept to make our devices to live in the market. Because we all know this vigilance itself, it's a risk and benefit market. It's all, we know that all device, any drug or any device, when it introduced into the market, it is with the very good intention of helping the patient, but at the same time, the flip side of it, it can have some risk also. So it's mainly to elevate the risk. It's mainly to monitor the risk more closely to ensure the patient's safety has been sustained. So that's the reason there is a people are, people, authorities like UMDR, European Union, and FDA authorities, they're closely looking into these markets. These are all five line items that I've selected, which are kind of highlights from UMDR updates. That's why I calling them as UMDR highlights. It's important for all of us to know this is effective from 26th May 2021. What is the change in this particular guidelines? So previously we have something called as Medical Devices Directive and Active Implantable Medical Device Directive. It's both are clubbed together and they're calling it as European Medical Device Regulations. And parallelly, we have something called as In Vitro Diagnostic Device Directive, and it has been calling as In Vitro Diagnostic Device Regulations. So what is the impact on the industry? How it is going to make an impact in the industry? What is the significance of it? So existing MBD certificates definitely will be valid, but they will become void by May 26, 24, because that is the deadline for all the industry people to upgrade and adopt the UMDR guidelines. If you ask me, if you go and talk to any kind of medical device vigilance expert, they will be talking about UMDR on today's date. So moving on to the next thing, yes, it has got significant impact on the EU market, wherein all EU member states, they have converted their medical devices regulations into legislations. So what it means, it's a statutory requirement. It's a government governing that, every company should abide this as a legislation. In case if anybody is not following this, definitely they'll be prosecuted. So that is something importance that has given to the patient safety. And yes, there'll be some impact on the launching of the products. For example, if I have made all these studies based on my MD, based on the previous regulations, if at all I want to launch a product, I need to go through a tedious process for sure, because previously MDD was with 60 pages requirements, and now it has gone to 174 pages. Why I am calling it as pages? Because there is more details that we need to provide about the device vigilance for the authorities now. So again, how it helps? It's mainly it increases the pre-market scrutiny, because that people understand if we know about the root cause of the history that way I told about breast implants. This is one of the root cause that they understood that pre-market scrutiny was not up to the mark. That's the reason they want to focus on the pre-market scrutiny. So again, all the products have to be CE marked under the new regulations, as I mentioned in previous slide. It's 2017-745. So for example, if I have any existing products which are already certified under MDD, again I need to kind of follow the procedures and get under the regulations of 2017-745. And of course, it all translates into a lot of efforts in the industry, and it may take much more time than expected with the new regulations. But for this group here, what is in it for us, for all of us, definitely it requires a lot of human resources. It requires a lot of professionals, because to handle a complaint, it takes a lot of time currently than previous one, how we are handling. So in that way, industry requires more resources. So this is the good news for all of us who are sitting in this room. Coming to the audits and inspections point of view, this is one of the major focus area for all regulatory authorities. There'll be more scrutiny and evaluations that will happen, especially on clinical evaluation and post-market follow-up plans. And obviously, these health authorities they also have increased responsibility to assess and certify the devices that are coming in the market. Again, what is the impact on the industry? We have to face more audits and inspections. Again, what is in it for us, especially for this group? There'll be more opportunities in this area, more audits and inspections. There'll be certifications that are available in the market if you go and get certified. So this is one of the area that you can venture into. And fifth impacted point, fifth highlight of this entire UMDR regulations is about the post-marketing assessments. Till now, there is less focus on the post-marketing assessment that especially in device industry. If I say till now, it was before 2019 or before 2018. So now there is an active monitoring in the performance of devices. Why the post-marketing is important? See, there is an issue with any device, that's where we see the increase in inflow of complaints about the device. When we see that inflow of complaints, definitely we'll coordinate with the manufacturing sites, wherein we tell them, hey guys, this is something which we can be corrected at manufacturing level, rather than waiting that product recall, something can happen. So that kind of proactiveness in identifying the potential device issue that will happen with this post-marketing assessments. So this is in nutshell, but I want to kind of call out here the basic difference between pharmacovigilance and device vigilance. So we all know that when any patient takes any medication, after taking medication, if something happens to the patient, that should be termed as a suspected adverse event with the suspected product. Whereas in device, it's not necessary that patient is assumed. Maybe I'll quote here one layman example. We have taken a mobile, we have purchased a mobile in the market, and with the expecting some basic features of Bluetooth connectivity, Wi-Fi, and all the things. Wherein I found after purchasing a mobile that Bluetooth function is not working in the device, in that mobile. What we'll do, obviously, we'll reach out to the customer care, we'll reach out to the company, we'll reach out to the sales executive that, so on so mobile, you have mentioned these specifications, but it's not working as per the specifications. So similarly, as these are all medical devices, it's very important. It's all the purpose why it is being sold in the market. So if it is not solving the purpose, then definitely that will be, lead to a complaint about the device. So this is the basic difference, wherein in pharmacovigilance, patient is drug and patient will be centric. And after taking medication, patient will experience something. But in device, it's not necessary that patient will be harmed. If device is not working as per the intended use, even during the validation stage or at the demo stage, so that will be going as a complaint. That is the kind of basic difference that I need to call out here, wherein our entire device regulations will be circling around that. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have any on this particular topic so far. Okay. If no, I think we can move on. This is very much on regulations part. Next slide, just I want to share my career journey here, because I want to kind of share my personal experience. What are the reasons that I whenever I've taken major calls in my career, what is that couple of points that I considered. So as usual, as any fresher, I started at a company called as SciTech Patent, which I got through campus there, where my designation was knowledge scientist. So I started with basic literature search activities and some clinical operations activities. It was a startup company, and I was an individual contributor there. But after working for small period, like May 2000, December 2000, it's a very, unnoticeable period there. I moved to TCS Mumbai, where I spent close to 6 years of time. I started my journey as a patient safety specialist in one of the major PVICSR handling global project. So that's where the entire career has taken a shape. I shape up my career. That's what I would call it as. And if you look at the basic part of this major highlights here, I was part of PVICSR handling, and I was an individual contributor, moved into people and project management there. So that's how it has not happened in over the night, but it took a due course of time. It's close to 6 years time that I shaped up myself from an associate to manager, along with my previous experience, what I was carrying. And I moved to Bioclinica. If you look at the basic difference in the portfolio that I handled, there also it's a PV ICSR handling, and people management was there, project management, but customer handling was the first thing that I started handling there. So that's kind of helped me in shaping up my career. It's not only about people and project management. Customer handling is something which is very important in today's days world. That's the reason I took a call, and I've taken up the role of project manager there. So I spent good amount of there, but when I look back, it was close to 12 years. I wanted to learn new in the industry. So that's where when I got into Alcon, that's where the platform was with device vigilance operations. Frankly speaking, before joining Alcon, I had a couple of opportunities in the same PVICSR field, but I chose to shape up my career in device vigilance because this will add value to my CV. This will keep me motivated towards new learnings. That's the reason, irrespective of designation, whatever it is. But I chose to grow in device vigilance operations. Frankly speaking, till now, it's plans went in successful direction, and it's working well for me. So that is something. For example, if at all the basic crux of the story, what I want to convey out of this slide, it's very much important to keep ourselves like stay hungry, stay foolish. We need to have that hunger for learnings, new learnings, whatever it comes to the industry, current trends. We need to follow this. We need to keep on updating. It's not that I have my M.Pharm pharmacy practice degree from JSS. It's kind of pioneer institution for me. The moment I come out, it will not. It will give the basics. It will give the character that I need to face the industry and all things. But that hungriness for learning should be there forever. I mean, I would call myself as a Nitya Vidyarthi. I'll keep on learning till my death. That's what I want to quote here. So that is something will keep me alive, and that will something keep me growing in the career. It's not only in professional life. It will also help me in personal life. That's what I strongly believed in. So I thought I'd like to give the glimpse of my 15 years of my corporate journey with patient safety. Moving on to next slide. I know there'll be many questions about what are the things that I need to have when I get into the industry. So if anybody has questions, 3 things that I need to focus as the roots that will help me in shaping up my career, help me in excelling well. One is about your basic clinical knowledge and therapeutic knowledge, what we are gaining in the colleges through textbooks, and it will remain as is. We need to keep on brushing. Believe me or not, even today, my favorite questions during the interviews will be like classification of drugs, therapeutic uses, what are the different therapeutic approaches in renal failure. Those kind of questions in the interviews. So just to assess the clinical knowledge, how we'll be curious to learn more about the clinical and therapeutic knowledge. Then second thing is about the product knowledge, because this is something which is very important for the device industry, because without product, we are not there. So that product knowledge, that includes the reference safety information, more details about the device, accessories, whatnot. And based on the product knowledge itself, like the events when will come, how to code those events based on the product knowledge, that will help us. And the process knowledge, yes, without work instructions, without proper SOPs, operating procedures, and regulatory requirements, we will not be able to do our job well. So if you have these 3 skills continuously, they should be with you. They are kind of roots of whatever we do in the industry, or whatever we do wherever we go. If your heart is close to these things, then sky is the limit for our growth. That's what I strongly believe in. And apart from this, whatever I've given in the top, like, yes, we need to be self-motivated, because we are the owners of our life. We are the owners of our career, or our life. So that's why we need to keep ourselves motivated, that we should be clear in what we wanted to achieve. And when it comes to the industry, yes, individual focus and performance is important. The quality, the attention to detail, time we spent in understanding the reports, these are all very much important. And yes, as any project, we'll have key performance indicators. Our metrics, our performance will be measured on what is the quality metrics that we are giving, what is the number of complaints that we are churning, how well we are churning out, what is the quality that we are getting, that all determines. Along with that, yes, we will be working as a team players. So I want to give one example here. If anybody asks me, what is the difference between college life and corporate life? What do you mean by team player here? So in college life, we will be studying for ourselves. For example, if I study, if I write exams, I'll be passing. So if I pass, I'll pass. If I fail, I will fail. But when we get into the team, it's not like that. If I pass, yes, I'll be contributing a kind of drop of ocean in the team. I'll be contributing for my team. If I fail, entire team will be failed. That's where that team player and interpersonal skills are very important. We need to have that accommodative approach. We need to having that cooperative approach within the corporate world. We need to maintain the diplomacy. So these things are very critical for our growth if at all we want to excel well in our career. Having said all these things, yes, whatever the experience that we carry, whatever the characters that we carry, relevancy for the project. For example, if I have this much years of experience, but if I'm not stepping up as per the relevancy of the project requirements, then I'll be standing out as a failure. So these are all the few glimpses that I wanted to deliver here. I know I took 3 more minutes than given this slot. So I'm happy to take up any questions if you have. Once again, thank you very much. I'm honored to be part of this webinar.
Thank you, sir. This is wonderful session. Any queries? So I guess
I think Neha, mine is first.
Yes, sir.
I'll represent whole academic fraternity over here. Sir, this is the domain which is almost untouched as far as academic research is concerned. Yeah. So Karthik sir, my straightforward question is that how the people who are involved into academic research, I mean to say the professionals who are working or who are into projects at academic institutions, how they can link with the companies into this domain itself, like device designing, yeah, and certain other things related to research into this very part. Reason being, as far as CU is concerned, we do have a wonderful infrastructure. I think that may be endorsed by Dr. Ajit himself because he was with us last month. So we do have collaborative efforts in the domain of CSE. We can design certain programs with them. Then we can have good set of collaboration from mechanical itself. So, and example of it is that we do have 3 or 4 types of 3D printers with us. So these are the inputs just to ask or to just support that very question, that how we can associate with companies or people like you in designing and other things pertaining to devices or medical devices specifically.
Yeah. So definitely, I think it's a great question from academic point of view. I will share whatever the knowledge that I have, because I have very limited scope and limited knowledge in this particular to answer this question. But based on my research, based on my assessment, India is a potential market for medical devices. Right? It's kind of currently, in fact, next sessions will be more about Indian material vigilance guidelines and other stuff. So we have the potential. The only thing is we need to tap the industry people to understand, will there be any internship for the associates? Because in Alcon also we are thinking about opening the roads for students through internship.
Yeah, that's what I am asking.
So that is something, the moment we open the roads, it doesn't mean that definitely these are all IPR related, intellectual property rights, that the R&D. That's where the accessibility will be limited.
No issue, sir. But see, this thing can help them in just paving their way towards this very market. See, because these are the biggest challenges. If you are not giving them the space at the entry level only, then how people will be getting into it with their maximum potential and input over there into this very part specifically.
So, I mean, we need to tap on the internship programs first to get into the industry, because
yeah, it will be good.
Yeah, frankly speaking, very less scope to get into the R&D level, because that's kind of intellectual property right for the company. Unless until it comes to the market, nobody wanted to do.
See, there are certain challenges over there into industry also. We can take a part of it As
Yes.
if a project that can be in collaboration mode, it may not be the complete setup over there, so that IPR issues may not be there.
Yeah, but one way I would look, kind of help you with, we need to tap on what are the clinical research, that's currently studies that are happening in uh, tertiary centers, especially in hospital setup,
Yes.
where we can, collaborate with the students. We can put them as a clinical research coordinators. With that, they'll get into the basics. That's where the actual research will happen. So if at all you want to talk about direct industry giving that opportunity, yes, as of now, it's a gray area because of the IPR setup and all things. So this is how we can look into the routes where we can send our students as a clinical research coordinators during their project level or at internship level. We can collaborate with the tertiary hospitals where the actual research is happening in the device way. So if you have more, if you need more details, definitely we can work on that. But directly giving entrance into the R&D or IPR, wherein about the designing of the device, that is something which is kind of question mark as of today. Sorry, I have been very candid here, but this is what it is.
No worries, that's true, sir. Okay, there are some questions even we left behind. Ritika Arvind Rawat, she has asked, how can startups and small companies navigate the regulatory landscape while innovating in the medical devices space?
Yeah. See, we have small players in regulatory landscape as well. Even there are startup companies that they're helping us with the consulting services with nominal charges as well today. For example, if at all I want to quote, Inoreg Solutions is one such company where they'll offer these regulatory services. Why I'm calling it as regulatory service? It's a regulatory intelligence setup. It's a huge setup because we need to coordinate with multiple stakeholders. And unless until we have those contacts or consultants, we'll not be able to get them through directly. This is the challenge what startups are facing today. But we can take, again, there are small players in the industry where they will help with these contacts, where we can, kind of get the regulatory intelligence services from them, and we can kind of upgrade ourselves within this arena. Hope my answer helps.
Yes, sir. And another question is from Vishal. What are some of the cutting edge technologies like AI, IoT that are transforming the medical device industry, and how do they impact the regulatory considerations?
Yeah, it's a very much a very good question, and it's a kind of need of the hour. Frankly speaking, it's kind of looked into magnifying lens. For example, from domain point of view, everybody talking great about AI, IoT. These things are very much there. The only thing is we need to understand the regulatory limits within the pharma industry. To make any single change, we need to adopt the regulatory authorities. We need to have the buy-in from them. That is the reason it's going in slow pace in this medical device industry. But believe me or not, from the past 5 years, yes, the medical device industry also picked up. And especially when it comes to devices, integration of devices, a kind of, just I want to quote one example here. If at all I want to go through a cataract surgery, wherein, for example, my diagnostic device itself will have the system wherein my entire measurements of what are the elements, what is the size of that pupil and all the things that will be fed automatically into the device that will be performing the surgery. So this integration is happening with the support of AI only. All these things are kick-started, but I would not say everything is automated on today's date. There is a long way to go for it. But it's a booming industry for sure.
Yes, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So one more question is there from Rasmi Adhikari. Sir, can you please explain how do different regulatory bodies, FDA, FEMA, impact the development and commercialization of medical devices globally? Okay, you can go ahead, sir. Otherwise, I think we have the specific session on that. So if you want, you can please go ahead with the answers.
Okay. because I'm concerned, but I should not be taking much time for next session. But I'll answer this question for sure. See, there is an agreement that is made between US FDA and European Union about exchange of these regulatory upgrades, because now they are working parallelly in sync. Previously, that was not the case. So it's a good move when we look into the regulatory industry. So they have an agreement made between US FDA and UMDR. Whatever the practices, they will share the details. They will kind of adopt the regulations. So, for example, if any regulation adopted by the US FDA, if UMDR, European Union thinks that should be adopted in European Union, that will be adopted. That's kind of agreement has been made already. So they're both are doing good, because these are all the major markets. But if you ask me about APAC industry, it's kind of still untouched. Everybody has got their own rules. China has got their own regulations. Japan has got their own regulations, or India similarly. So it's difficult to control these markets. Again, people like Modi, Jay Shankar, these people will play a major role here, frankly speaking. Our external affairs will play a major role.
Okay, very nice. So we'll take one more question from the quiz, from the chat box, and then we can go ahead with the next speaker, because we should not be delayed. And rest of the questions can be taken in the next session. So one more very important question from Tanveer Ahmed. Sir, how data security and privacy concerns be effectively managed when collecting and handling the patient data in medical devices trials? Yeah,
this is a very good question. Definitely, it's been taken into consideration. We are following strictly confidentiality aspects. We are part of EU GDPR regulations, so global data privacy regulations that are in place. When it comes to US and Europe market, that's been it has been taken with utmost concern, because in fact we don't even write the patient full details. So that's the level of confidentiality that we are maintaining in terms of patient data and other stuff.
Yes, thank you, sir. Over to Ms. Neha.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I must say many of students may satisfy with your answers. So with great pleasure that I introduce